Good morning. Happy Sunday. There's been so much material over the weekend that I can't pick a specific video to cover. I did cover Jade's speculation station through Monty last night, and the Heathen group, uh, Sunshine 2.0, is advertising their upcoming live stream as Dragon of Red. Okay, Ginger, let's go. I already said a lot about how ignorant she is and how patriarchal she is and how she participated in his nonsense. Life choices, girl. The sunshine panel should be really fucking interesting because that video that Jade dropped, which hopefully she's pulled by now, um, was so pathetic. It was so bad. She's like, I don't even have the time or the resources or whatever to pull the police report myself. Then why are you even talking about it? Other people have done deeper dives than you, so why are you talking about it? Other than to double down on your support for Hannibal, who got arrested again on Friday, allegedly for assault. So you tell me why that guy deserved any support whatsoever. But in the girl world, Chantel in her baby outfit with her face busting out of her veil, whatever it is, um, went full rage. And this started out to be against reactor channels because she's obviously having some sort of fight with Salah right now and she needs to let off some steam because otherwise she doesn't give a shit. She only does this when he's giving her crap. So she started off with a rager against React channels and then was quickly informed by her chat that Shani for Christ, somebody she supported for a very long time, wrote a community post. Hound lover, rage equals broke. I don't know that she's actually broke. I think she's just very frugal because she wants to save her money for food and for travel. She doesn't want to have to allocate any of her money to pet care, period. You know, and it's funny because I've been going back and forth with the idea recently of adopting a dog. so that I would have something that would, someone that would help me navigate the stairs every day. If you look at the social sites, she is losing views and money, says Hound Lover. Well, I'm not surprised of it, and I'm sure she's aware of it. She probably doesn't understand where she's going wrong. She thinks that raging brings her views, but she is so unreliable as a person at this point that nobody's fucking listening to her. And you know, another reason I know she watches my channel is because I've called her a contrarian. And she tried to bring that up. You're all contrary. You're contrary to my beliefs. You're contrary to my beliefs. She couldn't remember exactly what it was that I said. She quoted me word for word about men looking at corn when I was covering the Suitcase Sarah debacle. Well, she treats her subs like crap and blocks chatters, all bad for business. Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I'm a small channel, so I manage it pretty tightly at this point because most of what I get over here are actual trolls. And so I have to kind of manage what's happening and what's coming in and what's going out, right? But yeah, she quoted me word for word when I was talking about Suitcase Sarah Boone. Yeehaw! And she gave, I think it was like 4 reasons that George was a threat to her. And one of those 4 reasons was that he was cheating on her. And that was because he was looking at porn. Now, this is a 30 something, like maybe 20, late 20s, early 30s something couple. And I'll be real with you. I don't know any men in my life who haven't perused some corn. So I would highly suggest that you don't consider that physical cheating. But alas, this one has no dating experience. She only buys men. You know, she doesn't know how to actually develop relationships. She purchases all the men in her makeup. And she's exploding out of her skin. Quite literally. But she can't even do the bare minimum of getting her cat spayed. And she's live streaming from the pool as though Julia is in heat. However, if Julia was in heat, wouldn't she want to prove that by live streaming upstairs and showing us her caterwauling? Hmm, not so much with this one. I'm fairly certain that Julia has not gone back into Heat, and she's just a lazy motherfucker who doesn't want to get the procedure done. It's all about her. Absolutely, Hound Lover. I mean, look, she's a big YouTube star. I don't believe. I believe she's waiting the heat cycle out, but doesn't plan to spay her. I don't even think that's going on. I don't think she's actually in heat right now. I think she's full of shit and making excuses for canceling that Sunday appointment. She's a big baby. Adult baby fetish right there, you guys. And then she went into a diatribe of defending Amber Lynn without the background information once again, because she never gets informed when um, she's trying to talk about a subject. So she's apparently not aware of the live stream that Amberlyn did where she looked a hot mess. She was completely disheveled and said she needed mental therapy. She needed mental care, right? And that YouTube was doing this to her. It was all YouTube's fault. So now, obviously, the reaction channels are speculating that um, Emily is convincing her to quit her job. For what? She must know what the savings account looks like. She must know what the savings account looks like if she's telling her to let go of her job. And Amberlyn has obviously gained weight during this relationship. She is historically a feeder, Emily. Um, it's documented online, and now there's new claims that are attached to actual arrest records. I don't even know what to say about that. How you keep getting yourself in these really dangerous situations. You know, I've been in bad relationships before. They have never been so severe as like what I'm watching on YouTube. And I'm kind of like, was I too hard? was was I too judgmental? Um, but at the end of the day, I broke up for my own personal reasons. You know, I just wasn't going to be a part of what they were pulling. But so some of the videos that are out right now, Mr. Snowflake has done some videos on Amberlyn. Um, Jordy obviously has been getting contacted and dumping all kinds of new information on his channel. That's why he got attacked by name. Your theory is definitely possible. Sorry for the delay in reply, making coffee. You know, we're all doing our morning routines. It's not that big of a deal. Um, so we know that there's more turmoil there in the Amberverse. that is probably going to get stirred up even more, because the more stories come out, the more people will feel comfortable sharing their stories. That's generally how it goes. And that's how it's going to go with Hannibal, too. Monty said on his live stream that he and Hurl are working on a situation where there can be some safe reporting about his stuff. But he literally just got arrested again on Friday for assault, allegedly. $3,000 bond. So the way that works, you pay like 10% of it. It's like an insurance policy that if you show back up in court, then the money is returned to you. If not, there's going to be severe penalties, right? If you skip town, there's going to be severe penalties for you. So this mofo couldn't even go a few weeks without getting in trouble again. Just amazing. And people are going to be dragging Jade's speculation station on today's The Heathens on Sunshine 2.0. So you can check that out. Erie Pepperoni shut down her channel. She couldn't bear looking at how many Hannibal supporters were in her stream and in her mod staff. That's right, Rose Thorn reacts. So we have several people who were on a panel that dragged me who have all shown their asses now online. Hound Lover. Honestly, I don't care about the personal lives of YouTubers. Obviously, Hannibal needs to leave this woman. I have been in relationships with with button pushers. I'm doing a little dyslexia there. He should have controlled himself. Obviously, I mean, it was just fucking tacos. The minute she put the meat into the trash, he should have left and gotten some fucking Taco Bell. But no, he stalked her through the house, slammed the door to say, I don't appreciate door slamming in my house, and then said she was stalking up behind me. And so my natural reaction was to grab her hips first, push her away, and then smush her face. Whatever he did, he split her lip. End of story. And according to the police report, it was apparently an open-handed slap that did it. Hound Lover, I don't agree with how he handled any of it, but he needs help. He's a grown-ass man. He knows how to get help, okay? I'm not going to judge anyone because I'm not perfect. He's a grown-ass man. He knows how to get help. He knows how to go to AA and give up his drinking problem. He's had DUIs. disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, um, hound lover. I won't become a YouTuber because I don't want anyone in my personal life. Well, that's fair. I don't feel like there's anything in my personal life that is gonna get me in trouble. That dude is 49. He apparently has health care. Why the fuck isn't he taking care of himself? He should have given up drinking and he should have focused on the therapy. But obviously, he did neither and ended up in another situation on Friday. Can you imagine how bad this is going to get when the holidays come up? Thanksgiving, Christmas, you're sitting around with family drinking all day, and this guy has no self control. I can't see the message that YouTube is holding. I served 21 years in the military. I was once a wild one. I got my shit figured out though, but still. We all appreciate your service to the military, everybody who has served. What we do not appreciate is when vets come back and try and use that as an excuse to be abusive to the people around them. Like the dude who parked in the no parking zone next to my vehicle in the handicap parking insisted that he had the right to be there because he was a vet. The guy that harassed me at my table at Patsy's insisted that he was going through physical therapy and that his dancing on the dance floor was part of the physical therapy. Look, I've done a lot of physical therapy. Advanced ballet has never been part of it. I'd be very surprised if learning how to do pirouettes and shake your ass on the dance floor is part of your physical therapy. But he harassed me at my table for several minutes, and rather than dealing with this hostile man, they asked me to leave because he was a regular. I've done it for years, one drink limit. I served 21 years. Did I already read that? When I was going to Patsy's, I would order one drink and drink about half of it. I just ordered it to do some patronage to the bar so that I felt welcome, you know? I would never do that. That's a horrible human, period. Well, I've had several vets do that to me. You need to respect me because I'm a vet, regardless if I'm being an asshole to you right now. Unfortunately, military service messes with the mind. It's not an excuse, it's a truth. I'm sure, because they reprogram you, right? You have to go through your boot camp and they tear you down and then they build you back up, right? But during boot camp, they're telling you that your wife is cheating on you and shit. I've heard this from 3 different people who have gone through boot camp. The horrible mind bullshit that they pull on you. It's amazing. Little Cringe, who is a channel I like to follow quite a bit, but it's hard to take his content and jump into it as a react. Um, for one, he's wittier than me. I can admit it. He's wittier than me. But for two, um, the material that he's covering is stuff that I've kind of dived out of. Like I really haven't been following Eugenia Cooney for a long time now. Yes, it's true. I remember being called a crack baby in basic training, and I didn't even know what crack was. Yeah, I've heard the stories of how they try and just tear you down. I've heard it. They try and tear you down to your core so then they can build you back up in their image, right? Well, anyway, Little Cringe did a video on Eugenia Cooney. I would highly suggest taking a look at it. It's not something I can really react to because what am I going to add to that? I've already had my reacts to Eugenia, and well, they got me a lot of views, right? They got me a lot of views. I just didn't feel like this was so summarized that I didn't feel like I could jump in on this one. But there should be some interesting live streams today, you guys. And if you can survive 21 years, I generally means you won the mind game. But not everyone transitions to civilian life well. It was very hard for you. Well, that's probably why we have a lot of vets on the street, right? We have a lot of vets who don't know how to access all the resources that are available to them, and they end up camping on Skid Row. You know, I think Chantel made a reference to these areas that she considers dirty that she's never actually seen before, and one of them was Skid Row. And quite frankly, if she looked at Skid Row, it would look better than the fucking campground she just went to. Those people spend money on tents, you know? That's very true. I'm in Colorado and the same thing goes here. Goes on here. Obviously, you know, there has been talk over the years about investing more in mental health resources, and we are constantly shut down by the GOP. because they don't want to spend any money on anything unless we're just handing it over to corporations. Period. They don't give a shit about the middle class. So I don't know why people keep voting that direction because that is not their goal. You've been to Kuwait. It's nothing but desert, concrete, and dirty beaches. Well, and even the desert is filled with trash. You would think that they would start organizing some volunteer groups to go through with like the picker upper things and trash bags and cleaning up the desert. Like, why wouldn't they have some charitable actions to like actually clean up the desert? It it's so gross. And yeah, the beaches do look disgusting. Now, I appreciate that Chantel goes on her walks and gets across the street and tries to get down to the beach. I don't think she actually gets to the water line, but um, you simply cannot compare with the beaches of Southern California. We don't have shit all over our beaches. Even after like an El Nino storm or something where everything gets demolished, everything gets picked up right away and they start making efforts to restore the sand. I mean, the beach my mom took me to when I was a little kid was Capo Beach in Dana Point, and it was called Hole in the Fence Beach because you would go through a hole in the fence, cross the train tracks, make sure there wasn't a train coming, and then go through the other side, right? And when we got out there, there was about 100 feet of sand before you reached the ocean. The way it stands right now, after all these El Nino seasons, they had to move. The fire pits are gone. They had to move the lifeguard tower onto the parking lot. They had to put boulders up to protect from flooding. And they're trying to bring in more sand. I respectfully disagree. Trump did a lot for us during his last administration. We finally got insurance for our families that wasn't crap. Okay. I could also alternate care. Well, that's good for one particular subject, you know? But he was shit for the environment. I would still have to get a chiropractor on the side at this point because I have Kaiser. Acupuncture has never worked for me, and it's possible that I'm allergic to the metal of the needles. Massage therapy usually came with chiropractic, but I usually paid that out of pocket. No, I don't know that Biden really did much for healthcare during his term. I would agree with you there that he was doing damage control on a lot of other fronts, and that was not his top priority. He needs to work on mental health this time, and we have told him. Well, you got to keep telling him because he's not fucking listening to you unless you have like hundreds of millions of dollars to donate to him. Well, I'm glad it worked for you, hand lever acupuncture. Um, I did it and it made my condition worse. Like I would go in limping and I would come out limping harder. So I'm fairly certain I was allergic to the metal of their needles because they can pull out different needles if they need to, but they didn't. So what am I gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? Um, there's only so much I can do, and I don't want to be that bitchy Karen patient who's like, "Why can't you do this?" Yes, he is because he is getting the info from organizations that represent vets. You know, he's not spoken well of vets. He's defamed vets. I believe he will try and tackle the mental health piece this time. I don't know. I hope that you're right. But he has shown a clear disdain for vets. So, I don't know what to tell you there. If you're referring to that Atlantic hit piece, no, I'm not. I haven't read it. I'm referring to various sound bites where he has said things about John McCain where his actions don't line up with his supposed support. That's what I'm referring to. So, they were all horrible, Hound Lover. They were all warhawks. They were all putting you in precarious situations. Because they couldn't figure out who did 9/11. So they just started swinging their arms widely at several other countries. What are you going to do with that? You know? But McCain was no more horrible than anybody else who has served in Congress and had to vote on that shit. So what are you going to do? Okay. With that, you guys, I got to wrap up my live stream. Um, it's still very chilly. It was like in the 40s this morning. It's not going to get above the 60s today. I'm a California girl. I am currently wearing a snow jacket. This is like something I bought for snowboarding back in the 90s. Um, I wore it in Georgia while I was flipping the Senate. It was so memorable that I had people come up to me at the Unite Here canvas and say, "Oh my gosh, I recognize you because of your jacket." Hilarious. Well, anyway, Hound Lover, thank you so much for joining me to have a heated, interesting, lively conversation about the topics. And more power to you if you are actually working on something for the vets. They definitely need that healthcare package, but they can't come back to America and start treating people like shit and saying we need to respect them because they're vets. You know, not acceptable. So, anyway, I hope you all have a great day. Make sure you check in on Sunshine. You're always working on something. Good. Good. I appreciate that. I appreciate activism. I mean, I've been doing it for years. And I'm always down for civil discourse, Hound Lover. I appreciate that there's people on both sides, both parties who want to see action, who want to see things taking place. And we have just different ideas about the size of government. That's really what it comes down to is do you want more social programs or do you want to gut it? And I think gutting it is the wrong answer because that affects you as well, Hound Lover. When he talks about gutting programs, he's talking about gutting the vets. So there's that. You want balance. Well, let's see what we get. I'm chilling. I'm just along for the ride. I'm injured. I haven't been involved in politics in a couple of years because of the injury. And so I basically lightly attend meetings and just keep my ear to the ground kind of thing. But I'm I can't be walking around with a walker going to all this shit. You're a moderate who was once very liberal. Well, I imagine you haven't given up all of your ideas about where we should have freedoms, such as reproductive rights, right? Anywho, I'm going to wrap up there. Um, Take care, you guys, and enjoy your Sunday.